Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 13 of What If Naruto Was the Reincarnation of Barragan. If you guys enjoy this what if, and want to see part 14 of it, comment down below, and let me know. The like goal for this video is 200 likes. So like this video, to let me know that you're interested in this series, and you want the next part. Check out my new videos of My Hero Academia what ifs in my second channel, and give it some love as well. Link is in the description. I have created a playlist for this what if, where you can find all the previous parts, link is in the description. And go ahead, and check out other what ifs in the channel. Before we start, please do support for more awesome content. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and also share this video with your friends. So let's start this video. Secret location. The invasion is still on, stated Sarutobi hears into the Suna Jonin in front of him, who was surprised to hear this. But Orochimaru is dead. The invasion is compromised. Your successor knows too much and there is not enough time to change the plan to something else, protested Baku with Hiruzen scowling at him. Be as that may, I am confident my forces within Konoha and can do enough damage while your forces outside do the rest. The Sound Village is still functional, and Jiraiya has taken control of it to ensure there are no deserters among its ranks. All of our forces will be able to do what is necessary when the time comes. Make sure Kazekage knows that, said Hiruzen with Baki nodding. You never did tell me why you are doing this to your village. It is making my Kazekage uneasy, and I am starting to wonder as well, stated Baki with Hiruzen frowning further. Konoha has shifted away from my vision of what it should become. My successor, who I never wanted to become Hokage in the first place, has ruined it, and set back my plans using the very boy I was molding into the village weapon. She must be removed, and the only way is through the chaos of the invasion. Once it's over, Konoha will re-establish ties with Suna, and acknowledge its strength in a way that will allow the Wind Daimyo to see he made a mistake in redirecting funds to our village, said Hiruzen while only speaking a half-truth to the Suna Jonin. By the time the invasion was over, Suna would be severely weakened, Sound would be annihilated to cover up the least involvement in its creation through Orochimaru, and Konoha will be uncontested in its power. The Suna Jonin in front of the former Hokage would not live past the invasion, and the Kazekage would meet his end as well, without even realizing it. I see. I will relay what you have told me to my Kazekage, replied Baki before leaving the room, but still having that uneasy feeling in his body. On the day of the invasion, inform Yugao it was Baki who killed her fiancé during this waiting period, said Hiruzen to the Anbu, formerly rude Anbu, standing behind him. She'll want to know how we know this Hiruzen-sama, commented the Anbu with the former Kage glancing back at the Leaf Shinobi. Let's say Jiraiya's spy network discovered the truth. It should be enough, replied Hiruzen with the Anbu nodding before he was gone in a swirl of leaves. Konoha Stadium, day of finals. There's a change in the order of shinobi competing, questioned Naruto with a raised eyebrow to the current Jonin proctor named Genma. Yeah. Well, it's complicated. Dosu of Sound will not be competing in the finals due to being killed during the month waiting period. Meaning the order had to be changed, if only slightly, replied Genma with a board next to him, showing the others who would be fighting who. Naruto would be fighting Neji. Sasuke would be fighting Ino. Shikamaru would be fighting Temari. Shikamaru groaning. And Shino would fight Kankuro. The only real difference now was Gaara would be fighting the winner of the first match. So that's the lineup. I see. Gaara fights last since his opponent is no longer among the living. And the Uchiha isn't here either. Meaning Kakashi is making him arrive late. No doubt to come here in some fancy impressive way to attract clients to the fold specifically after his victory over Ino. Provided he can win against her, thought Naruto while he saw the line of contestants standing alongside him. Damn. I was hoping I wouldn't have to fight a girl. Why couldn't I just fight Shino or his opponent? Even Sasuke. Why do I have to fight a troublesome girl? Thought Shikamaru while the various kunoichi in the village, both native and foreign too, had a sudden urge to beat up lazy men and boys who love to stare at clouds all day. At the same time, all said men and boys who were lazy suddenly felt the urge to shiver in fear and wondered where the sudden sensation came from. Nervous? Asked Naruto, who was standing next to Shikamaru. No. Just tired, answered Shikamaru with Naruto letting out an amused chuckle. I suggest conserving your energy. You will need it for what is going to happen soon, said Naruto while glancing at Temari, while making it seem like he was referring to the Naru's match. Not the invasion. Fortunately, Shikamaru caught on to what he was saying, and knew something was going to happen soon. With Naruto glancing over at Temari, the Nara knew it had to do with the Suna Kunoichi, and anything Suna related in general. This also meant the youngest of the Kazekage's children in Jinchuriki by the name of Gaara, was also a major factor, if not the major factor inside Konoha. So why did Naruto seem so calm? Granted, Naruto had every right to be calm, but still you would think the former Kyuubi Jinchuriki would sweat a little over this. Glance over at Gaara with a more serious look on his face. Something. You guys ready? It's nearly showtime, said Genma with Naruto nodding his head. Let's get this show on the road. The Hyuga's not so secret glare is becoming annoying to me, replied Naruto with several genin looking from him to Neji, who was indeed caught glaring, and with his Byakugan too. You will fall this day, Namikaze. Fate has assured my victory here, remarked Neji, while Naruto glancing at him with uncaring eyes. Using fate to cover up your failures, doubts, and weaknesses is a crutch. Perhaps you should learn how to walk on your own 2 feet, and not use such an excuse to hide behind, said Naruto with Neji scowling further. I have something that will guarantee my victory. Something you can't stop from killing even you, replied Neji with Naruto smirking. We'll see, remarked Naruto before Tsunade gave her speech about the Chunin exams, and to begin with the first match. Okay guys. I know killing is allowed, but please, don't kill each other here. It sets a bad precedent for the potential clients, said Genma with Naruto staring at Neji impassively, while Neji was in his gentle fist stance. No promises, replied Naruto while narrowing his eyes slightly at the sight of something that should not be in the Hyuga's possession. He will be begging for death by the time I'm done with him, replied Neji with Genma letting out a sigh. I'm going to regret volunteering for this. Ready. Fight. Said Genma before leaping back to see what would happen next. You do realize your taijutsu won't have any effect on me, right? Asked Naruto while looking calm on the outside, but inside he was angry, and knew he had one person to blame for that. Jiraiya of the Sannin. I don't need to hurt you with my gentle fist. Just make contact, replied Neji before he moved forward intent on implementing his plan to combat the Arrancar. As if I would let you. I know who trained you in secret, Neji, replied Naruto, as he used Sunido to keep his distance from Neji when the Hyuga got too close. Then you know I have the power to hurt you, countered Neji while trying to get close enough to hit his target. Absurd, answered Naruto before vanishing from Neji's sight via Sunido. Then why dodge? Why run like a coward? You claim to be some great entity now, but all I see is a weak fool hiding behind his clan name. Explained Neji with Naruto not rising to take the bait like he hoped would happen. Arrogant fool. I don't hurt you because your cousin is watching us. She cares about you and wishes your quest to kill or hurt me would come to an end. I don't hurt you because she asked me not to for the sake of the Hyuga clan and for your own sake, countered Naruto with Neji looking angry when hearing that. I don't need her protection. I don't want it. What I want is for you to suffer and die while she watches helplessly in the process. Exclaimed Neji with Naruto letting out a sigh of frustration. Like you were when your father died. Questioned Naruto with Neji seething. So my cousin told you, remarked Neji while pausing in his attack to gauge how to strike Naruto. From what she remembered. How can you justify your hatred for her? How does your mind work in believing a 3-year-old girl could have a chance of defending herself against a veteran shinobi from another village? One who infiltrated your clan compound, snuck into her room, and nearly got away with it in the middle of the night. Questioned Naruto with Neji snarling angrily. I don't have to justify myself to you. Something unnatural as yourself should stay dead and let the living do what they please, retorted Neji with Naruto snorting at him. The only unnatural thing I see is what you are secretly hiding and holding within your palms, Hyuga Neji. To think you would lower yourself, that you would try to have such a thing on hand to use against another. Your own father would be ashamed of you, replied Naruto with Neji looking ready to explode with rage. Shut up. You are a monster. A freak of nature. Something like yourself and your parents are not meant to walk around freely. It's time you were brought under heel. I will do just that and get my revenge on Hinata-sama by making you suffer. Exclaimed Neji angrily, before charging forward to unleash his gentle fist on him again. And striking Naruto on the forehead. Leave it to Jiraiya to create another version of the cage bird seal for you to use against me, remarked Naruto calmly, while Neji's arm broke within seconds of making contact with him and the seal appearing on the Namikaze's forehead. No? Naruto. Protested Hinata in shock and horror, along with those that knew him, while wondering why he let Neji hit him with the seal. That bastard got Jiraiya to help with that kind of seal. On my son. Oh, that old pervert is so fucking dead, thought Kushina and Minato angrily. I've won. Declared Neji while leaping back, his one remaining limb going through hand signs. Hardly, replied Naruto calmly with Neji's grin never leaving him. Holy life curse seal, submission, exclaimed Neji, as he activated the seal, and saw it glowing around Naruto's head, while fully expecting his opponent to fall to his knees in agony. Instead, Naruto shocked Neji by just standing there with a raised eyebrow while looking completely unharmed. Is it? Is that what you spent the entire month preparing for? Just some gentle fist training and a seal supposedly designed to hurt me whenever you want. You didn't even make the seal. Jiraiya probably gave it to you before coming here, gave a brief half-assed explanation, and hoped it would work, replied Naruto with Neji gritting his teeth. Why isn't it working? Jiraiya-sama said it was an altered version of the cage bird seal with more advanced settings, and anyone struck by it would be in pain when a hand sign is being made. Why isn't the hand sign working? Thought Neji while seeing the seal on Naruto's forehead being removed by the Namikaze with a small swipe of his hand. Let me explain something to you, Neji. Something even you can understand in that head of yours. As I am now, sealing doesn't work on me. It never will work. You see Neji, like everything else, seals fade away with time, and they age to the point where their strength is gone. I age anything that touches me that I dislike. From any and all weapons to limbs used in taijutsu and of course sealing. Danzo and his root shinobi learned that the hard way before they died. What makes you think some pathetic little third-rate pure seal that was made from a perverted so-called sage for a fool could hurt me? Explained Naruto before he turned his head to look at where the man was watching with nervous eyes. Damn it. I thought for sure the curse seal would work. I underestimated how quick he would use the aging power on the seal, thought Jiraiya angrily, while knowing Naruto and his parents would soon come after him. He had spent the entire month researching cursed seals. From Orochimaru's work to the Hyuga's cage bird seal. He thought what had been created would be enough to use on Naruto, force the brat into submission, and use the brat's suffering to bring the parents in line long enough to seals on them. With them underfoot, they could get Tsunade kicked out of the Hokage seat, Hiruzen back in office as Hokage again, after making Naruto use his reverse aging power, and bring about the Shodaime Hokage's vision of Konoha. This farce of a match has gone on long enough. It's clear you don't care about anyone around you, Neji. I had hoped you could be redeemed for the sake of your cousin, but it's clear someone like yourself would sooner die than admit wrongdoing, than try to make up for it. That is the only salvation for you, replied Naruto with Neji scowling at him. I'm not done. Fate is on my side. I know it. I can feed it, exclaimed Neji, his eyes now showing some form of insanity, and it was clear to Naruto that the Hyuga had slowly lost his mind. Not surprising really when all things considered. Naruto was considered unnatural, an anomaly in his eyes. Everything the Hyuga believed in, the Namikaze brought doubt and disbelief to in an instant. Naruto came from nothing, was raised with nothing, and treated like he was nothing. Only now did he rise above it all, have incredible power, was in the Chunin exams, and no doubt would be well on his way to becoming a Chunin. It went against the Hyuga's belief in fate preordained everything. If you have nothing, then fate decrees you are nothing. If you have something, fate decrees you are meant to have it, and so on and so forth. No? What you see and feel is death. I just hope Hinata can forgive me for what I am now about to do, replied Naruto before his cane turned into a battle axe, and had the red evil-looking eye in the center between the blades. The boy briefly glanced at Hinata, who was looking at him, and gave the slightest of nods toward the Hollow Prince. She gave her blessing. Die, yelled Neji, as he charged forward, intent on crushing the abomination, an enemy of fate in front of him. You first, whispered Naruto before he vanished via Sunito and appeared behind him seconds later. And seconds after that Hyuga Neji was cut in half at the waist. I'm calling the match, kid. If we're lucky, we can still save Neji with Tsunade's help, said Genma, but the glare and raised fists from Naruto froze him in place. I'll decide whether or not he lives past today. Not you, stated Naruto before he walked over to the dying Hyuga and turned his weapon back into his cane-like appearance. What's wrong? Why do you just stand there? Finish it, stated Neji with Naruto looking down at him. I did finish it, Neji. With the amount of blood loss and the lack of a body from the hip on down, I have taken your life in the cruelest way possible. But at the same time, I have the power to make it restart anew with my powers, said Naruto calmly with Neji scowling at him with what little life he had left. And what would be the price for such generosity? Asked Neji with Naruto just looking from him to Hinata and back to him again. That when I fix you up again, this silent feud you have with Hinata, this arrogance of yours, and the constant blabbing about fate, dies in your place, replied Naruto with the Hyuga glancing from Naruto to Hinata, while seeing the girl's eyes pleading with him to take the deal. Not much of a choice, commented Neji with Naruto narrowing his eyes at him. You're lucky I'm giving you a choice of all. I could just let you die here and bleed out while thinking about all the people you've hurt just for being alive. I could leave you here to die while being filled with regret at hurting your cousin for something that was never her fault to begin with, replied Naruto, while seeing Neji's pride wasn't willing to let go just yet. Like I said, some choice, remarked Neji with Naruto scowling at him. I'm giving you a chance of redemption. Choose quickly. Your time is just about up in the next 2 minutes. Literally, said Naruto with Neji gritting his teeth and deciding on the right course of action he should take. I humbly accept your offer, whispered Neji with Naruto nodding, before nodding at Tsunade, who appeared seconds later, and helped align the two halves the Hyuga boy together properly. Ignoring Genma announcing Naruto's victory over Neji to a shocked crowd. Good choice, replied Naruto before kneeling and putting one hand on both halves, while Tsunade used her own medical skills to ensure everything was in working order when it was done. You should also know that your uncle has something for you. It was from your father. He left it for you to read after he died, added Tsunade with Neji looking at her in shock. What? Why didn't Hiashi-sama tell me? Why wasn't I given it or told about it until now? Asked Neji with Naruto snorting. The Hyuga elders forbid your uncle from giving it to you on the grounds of being old enough to understand, which we all know is crap. They wanted you to hate Hinata, and everything she loves. To turn you into their weapon against her any friends she may have over the years. They planned to have you be their instrument of destruction in putting her down, so they could control her sister Hanabi, and keep the idea of changing the Hyuga clan from ever happening, answered Naruto. He knew enough about politics to know how the Hyuga elders acted. Hinata-sama did say that once, but I thought it was an empty promise. Something she came up with to keep the hatred of the branch family at bay. The Hyuga elders had said as much during one meeting they had regarding clan security. How such a declaration would not happen, because clan traditions prevented and Hinata's future marriage to you Naruto, replied Neji with Tsunade scowling at the mention of the Hyuga elders. Those fools won't live forever, and they seem to forget that the Uzumaki clan originally came up with the cage bird seal years ago at your clan's request. Though based on the design on your forehead, they altered the seal without permission, stated Tsunade with Neji frowning, and was surprised by this news. The Hyuga clan records don't mention an Uzumaki commissioning the seal, said Neji, while Naruto snorted. As if they would. My mother told me about this piece of history. The Hyuga clan was a traveling clan years ago before the founding of the hidden villages, and their paranoia about their bloodline being taken during that time rose in the process. Shinobi clans were attacking each other, wiping each other out, and things were getting messy with rumors of clans with the jutsus having their eyes ripped out. The only clan not affected by this warring period was the Uzumaki clan, as they settled on an island that would be called Whirlpool Country, and set up a defensive position in order to grow. The Hyuga clan paid them a visit, and requested their help in making a seal to protect their bloodline from being harvested. The Uzumaki clan agreed and made them the cage bird seal, but back then it was called the Dojutsu protection seal. The Hyuga clan was grateful for this, but the Uzumaki clan wanted them to promise them, both on their honor, and in a contract signed in blood, that the seal would never be altered, replied Naruto with Neji looking completely floored by this information. But Hokage-sama just said the seal the Uzumaki clan gave mine was altered since that time, replied Neji, while Tsunade grimaced. Your clan broke their promise, Neji. Those present when handed the seal secretly had it altered before placing it on a majority of the Hyuga clan. Once that happened, those without the seal, who would become the main family, had forced those that did have it into submission, and threatened to kill all the children of the now branch family, if they told the Uzumaki clan about their treachery. The Uzumaki clan still found out, but by the time they did learn of the Hyuga clan's betrayal, the Second Shinobi War had come around, and Whirlpool soon falling afterwards, replied Tsunade with Neji grimacing now. The Hyuga elders will deny it. They will claim without a binding contract, there is no proof the Uzumaki clan created it, stated Neji with Naruto smirking. The one thing the Uzumaki clan do above all things when it comes to making binding contractual agreements with other clans, is they make sure they are done in triplicate, said Naruto with Neji looking at him with a frown. In triplicate? Asked Neji with Naruto nodding. The contract was made in triplicate for record-keeping purposes. One from the Uzumaki clan in Whirlpool, one for the Hyuga clan, and one extra to hold onto in the off chance someone tried to screw them over. After the shinobi villages were founded, the Uzumaki clan were allies with the Senju, and were even tied together through marriage. As such, when Uzumaki Mido, who was Tsunade's grandmother, had given her husband, the first Hokage Senju Hashirama, the extra copy, she told him what it was, and to make sure no one outside of their two clans knew about it, unless there was a reason for it, explained Naruto with Neji's eyes widening in shock. The extra contract is here in Konoha. In the Senju clan compound, whispered Neji, but it did little to keep the words from being heard, and the Hyuga elders in the stand were now scowling. We must find a way into the Senju compound. If that damn contract were ever brought to light, the political backlash would cripple our power base, whispered one Hyuga elder, while the second sitting next to him nodded. We will send some of our best infiltrators there later while the Hokage is busy in her office. Since it's just her, the building will be deserted, and it will be hours before the woman returns to it. Plenty of time to find the contract and destroy it like we did ours once we had no further use for the thing, said the second Hyuga elder. Done. I wouldn't advise anything strenuous for a while, Neji. Even with my power and Tsunade's help, you really can't do anything for the next 5 months. At least that long before your body is fully recovered, said Naruto with Neji nodding in understanding before Medignans waiting for the all-clear took the Hyuga away. Begin the next match, commanded Tsunade with authority and sat down again in her chair, while the Kazekage looked down at Naruto's retreating form with narrowed eyes. That boy is the main threat to this invasion. Baki said that Jiraiya-sama guaranteed the boy would be neutralized by the time the invasion happened. Could it be a lie? Thought the Kazekage worriedly since he was hoping Naruto would be taken out by the Hyuga. Yamanaka Ino and Uchiha Sasuke, please come down for your match, commanded Genma with Ino coming down first, while everyone was waiting for Sasuke. It wasn't long before the crowd got restless. The brat isn't here. Disqualify him, commanded Tsunade before Jiraiya appeared next to her. Wait. You want to disqualify Sasuke? The last Uchiha. Come on, Tsunade-heim. A lot of people came here to see him compete. Such a decision could cost the village its future clients, protested Jiraiya while Tsunade glared at him. Imagine if this becomes a habit, Jiraiya. Shinobi who are late to meet the clients or save them when they are in trouble is bad for a reputation. Late shinobi equals dead clients. Word soon spreads like a plague, and all our past and present clients go elsewhere. The Uchiha being among the last of a clan does not give the brat special privileges in being late. He's disqualified, said Tsunade in an authoritative tone before signaling the Jonin next to her to inform Genma. Tsunade, please don't do this, protested Jiraiya with Tsunade's glare intensifying. Enough. I am the Hokage here, Jiraiya. Not you. Not Hiruzen. Me. And I say the Uchiha is disqualified for his tardiness, and that is that, exclaimed Tsunade with Jiraiya frowning at her words. You will come to regret this, Tsunade thought Jiraiya before left the female Hokage to enjoy Chunin exams. While she still could. Uchiha Sasuke is disqualified for his tardiness. Winner is Yamanaka Ino, declared Genma with many in the crowd booing the decision, while many of the nobles and the future clients nodded in understanding. Serves the fool and his sensei right. You show up on time for everything. No exceptions, thought Naruto before the next match started. I don't want to fight. I think I will just forfeit my match, mumbled Shikamaru before he felt something small and circular touch the back of his head with the power behind it now sending him over the ledge onto the ground. Crash. Get up, you bum. I've been itching for a fight, and you are my current scratching post, said Temari with Shikamaru grumbling while glancing back, and saw the end of Naruto's cane retreating back. Damn it, Naruto, whispered Shikamaru before getting up and wiping the dirt off his body. Ready? Asked Genma, seeing Shikamaru looking like he hated being there and Temari was looking like she wanted to beat the boy's brain into the ground. Do I really have to fight a girl? Can't I just forfeit? Asked Shikamaru before a sudden sense of dread washed over him and looked in the stands to see his mother glaring at him. It was a get off your lazy ass or else look that made many Nara males shiver in fear, and always giving a high-speed yes dear, not for a response. Talk about being between a rock and a hard place, commented Naruto with an amused chuckle leaving his mouth. Either face Temari and get his ass kicked in public or face his mother and get his ass kicked in public as well. Never mind, whispered Shikamaru with Temari smirking. Get ready for an ass kicking, said Temari with Shikamaru sighing. No matter happens, I'm going to get my ass kicked today. Troublesome. I just can't win, commented Shikamaru with Naruto smirking from his position, while finding this to be very amusing. It was like watching Barrigan's memories of Stark and that girl who always beats the crap out of him for being lazy. Fight. Said Genma with Temari swinging her iron fan open seconds later. Time to see if you did more than sleep during the whole month preparing for this, said Temari with Shikamaru groaning. I kind of had to or else my mother would have beat me within an inch of my life. Maybe I should have, and hope my injuries prevented me from competing, replied Shikamaru while thinking, if it was possible, and he made the wrong choice on how to approach this. As if I would let my attack stop you, thought Yoshino, as she would have rolled him in his wheelchair, and wearing a full body cast onto the field herself to make sure her son competed. At least my son didn't make the same mistake I did at his age. My mother didn't take my attitude regarding the Chunin exams lying down either, thought Narashikaku, as he let out a shudder at the memory. And how his mother had dragged his body onto the field so he wouldn't be considered late and disqualified. It was so humiliating. The only person who enjoyed the spectacle was Kushina, who had thought it was hysterical, and laughed herself silly at his situation. She still did actually when brought up when they all got together, and made sure to remind everyone just how the Nara women in the clan wore the pants in it. The only thing more troublesome than women in general were women from the Uzumaki clan. Hell, everyone from the Uzumaki clan were the definition of troublesome. Winner by knockout. Temari from Suna, declared Genma before he winced at seeing Shikamaru on the ground after being hit over the head with the girl's weapon and sporting one mean lump on his head. That will teach you to call women troublesome, exclaimed Temari angrily. But I never said that out loud, mumbled Shikamaru with Temari smirking at him. But you were thinking it. Women like me have sixth sense about when men talk about us behind our backs. I could sense it was coming off of you, answered Temari with the Nara in front of her groaning. I knew it. Dad's theory was dead on, whispered Shikamaru in pain before being carried off the field. The next match is Abirame Shino vs Kankuro from Suna, stated Genma, while Shino moved to head to the field. I forfeit, exclaimed Kankuro knowing he might have to face his brother if the tournament had to continue as everyone unknowing of the invasion believed it would. Fine. Winner by forfeit is Abirame Shino, declared Genma with the crowd looking at how the puppet master took the easy way out, while Shino just looked at Kankuro with narrow eyes behind his shades. The next match is Namikaze Naruto vs Yamanaka Ino, said Genma with Naruto using Sunito to take to the field, while Ino came down a minute later. Show off, commented Ino with Naruto smirking at her. You liked it, countered Naruto with Ino shrugging. True, answered Ino since she always thought him using Sunito was awesome. Ready? Asked Genma before a swirl of leaves caught his attention and saw Hatake Kakashi arrive with Uchiha Sasuke right beside him. I'm sorry. Are we late? Asked Kakashi with Naruto narrowing his eyes at the man, and the arrogant smirk the Uchiha was sporting. Actually you're late, Kakashi, Sasuke has been disqualified for it, replied Genma with Kakashi looking shocked and Sasuke now looking livid. What? On whose authority? Yours. Demanded Sasuke with Genma looking over at the Hokage. Not me. The Hokage. You were late for your assigned match, Sasuke. Time does not wait hand and foot to make you happy. It's just like when on missions, you show up for them on time. Failure to do so could get you client or comrades killed. The Hokage knows this, I knows this, and every shinobi worth their headband knows this. Even all the missing nin out there in the world, when they were still part of their shinobi village know this, said Genma with Sasuke frowning. Like I give a damn. I'm an Uchiha. We show up when we want. If I want to show up late for the client, then the client just has to suck it up and deal with it. Hell, the client should be honored I even show up at all, replied Sasuke with Genma frowning at him. Your teaching skills leave much to be desired, Kakashi, remarked Genma with Kakashi now looking sheepish. He's a handful, Genma. You know how it is with some of the prodigies that Konoha has produced over the years, said Kakashi with Genma frowning. I wouldn't know. I tend to stay away from them unless absolutely necessary. In any case, your student needs to sit in the stands like everyone else, stated Genma with Sasuke not liking that. I have a match with the bitch over there, and I will compete whether the Hokage up there likes it or not, declared Sasuke defiantly before walking toward Ino. Only for the Uchiha to feel an immense pressure now filling up the arena, and many were gasping for air and clinging to someone around them for support. Even the Yondaime Kazukage was finding it hard to breathe, and was looking at the source of it all with wide scared eyes. Not surprising when the source of this sudden pressure was Naruto, who had enough of the Uchiha's constant belief of being untouchable, and decided to lay down the law Uzumaki style. Are you done? I am sick and tired of you Uchiha. Strutting around this village, much less this arena, like a peacock with your feathers out for everyone to see and be impressed by them. Well, I'm not impressed, and neither are they. You were late for your match, you are speaking with an arrogant tongue, and you currently believe the world owes you all the riches lying deep within the ground waiting to be handed to you. And simply because of the fact you are an Uchiha. Your very presence is a stain on the world. You are filth. A disease. A rotting dead horse with maggots coming out of it had more value than you, declared Naruto before walking over to Sasuke currently on the ground trying to stare up at the towering iron car. At least I'm human. What does that say about you? Monster. Accused Sasuke while he struggled to breathe and talk. I may be a monster, but compared to you Uchiha and how you view the world, I'm a far better person than you ever could hope to be in life, replied Naruto, kicking the Uchiha in the face, and sent him flying into Kakashi, with the two hitting the wall hard. Before Naruto decided to cut off the spiritual pressure. Not that I haven't trained or anything, but can I forfeit too? Asked Ino nervously, since she knew her strength when training the entire month could never match up to her future husband. Of course. Sorry about that, Ino. I just couldn't stand the idea of Sasuke getting his way and needed to put him in his place. I also know you trained this entire month because my mother made it her business to know. She wants to have a strong daughter-in-law by the time we marry, said Naruto with a gentle smile, with Ino blushing and nodding while thanking him. Okay. Yamanaka Ino had forfeited her match. Winner is Namikaze Naruto, said Genma, with no one from the crowd booing or cheering, since they were afraid Naruto would use his spiritual pressure again. Troublesome. As much as I dislike the idea of Ino being allowed to forfeit, I would have done the same in her shoes, if I was facing Naruto, said Shikamaru while glancing at the other contestants in the booth with him. Such power. It's no wonder people are scared of him, thought Temari while looking at Naruto, before glancing at Gar currently smiling an evil smile filled with rage and bloodlust. Finally. Someone in the world worth killing, said Gar while everyone else, who did not know the boy, currently looking at him in confusion. Oh shit, thought Kankuro knowing that look. The next match is Namikaze Naruto vs Temari from Suna, declared Genma before he saw Temari coming down on her fan, but unlike before with Shikamaru, she was looking a tad nervous, and no one will blame her. I don't suppose you would go easy on me, said Temari with Naruto smirking at her. That depends. Do you want me to go easy on you? You look like a woman who doesn't like opponents holding back when in a fight, replied Naruto with Temari smirking at that, since it was true. No. I don't want you to take it easy on me. Forget I said anything, said Temari while getting her fan out, and Naruto smirked. I already did, said Naruto before turning his cane into his battle axe form. Ready? Fight, said Genma with his hand coming down. The Kamitachi no Jutsu, exclaimed Temari, as she unleashed her attack on Naruto in the hopes it would hurt him, since it was one of her more powerful wind-based jutsus that was capable of cutting things to pieces. The wind jutsu did cut and slice things to pieces around Naruto, as the ground, the trees, and even the boy's clothing was cut up in various places. The violent wind made Genma leap back, since he didn't want to be caught in the path of the attack, and saw it was a very powerful jutsu. It was a well-known fact Suna shinobi had a strong affinity for wind and puppetry, and this girl was showing she inherited one of those two things. Interesting attack, Temari-san. You even managed to cut through my clothing. Not many people can say that was possible. Most impressive indeed. Sadly, for you anyway, it did nothing in terms of cutting through my skin, said Naruto, knowing her attack would do just about everything else. Damn it. I thought my jutsus could cut through him. I heard rumors about his skin being as hard as steel, but to see my attack did nothing further proves the rumors are correct, thought Temari before she saw Naruto vanish from her sight. And her eyes widened before she moved on instinct to dodge the attack aimed at one of her legs. Good instincts. You were paying attention to my fight with Neji in the hopes of learning of a way to dodge or block such a move, even though you saw me do it only once during the entire match, remarked Naruto casually. I also saw your speed. When you use that move, there is a static-like sound, and it gives me a split-second warning needed to move. The trick is being able to hear it, said Temari with Naruto nodding. Very true. Not many people know about that since they are either dead or they can't hear it like you do. No doubt it is something related to your strong affinity for wind, correct? Deduced Naruto with Temari nodding. That's correct. Now let's see if you can take another hit. There's only so much your skin can take before it finally breaks. The Kamitachi no Jutsu, said Temari while the attack once more cut and sliced everything in its path. Normally, you would be correct, but my steel skin makes your attacks worthless, stated Naruto before looking down and saw his shirt was in tatters, and decided to just throw it off to reveal his well-muscled body. Damn. He's muscled for a kid his age. Did they put steroids in his milk formula as a baby? Thought Temari while blushing at the sight of her opponent shirtless. I knew Naruto was muscular under that shirt, but damn. Stated Ino, as she has seen signs of it before with his shirt being open, but the girl had never seen him like this. It makes you wonder what he will look like when he's a full-grown adult, thought Hana, as she was starting to feel a blush forming on her face, and knew her body was reacting to the sensation of seeing her future husband like that. So hot. Must resist eye-humping student, thought Anko, as she saw Naruto was well built underneath his shirt, and wondered if Kurenai knew this too. That's right, Konoha. That is my future husband, thought Hinata at the sight of Naruto shirtless, made the girl blush and a small nosebleed forming. If I didn't know any better, Temari-san, I would think you were trying to get me out of my shirt. If that is true, you have been successful on your part, remarked Naruto with some amusement, while Temari was sputtering and blushing, at the fact he had seen how her eyes were ogling his body. Shut up, exclaimed Temari before she moved to swing her fan one more time, but Naruto moved too fast, and was instantly in the Kunoichi's face. Boo. Whispered Naruto and was rewarded with Temari letting out a shriek before she jumped back several feet and fell on her butt in fright. That was awesome. Nice one. Exclaimed Kankuro before he yelped and ducked when Temari threw some shuriken at him. Shut up, Kankuro. Exclaimed Temari before focusing on Naruto currently smirking at her. Such a quick temper, Temari-san. For shame, said Naruto in a scolding tone, and the girl looked embarrassed before growling at what he did. I'll show you a quick temper. Fuden. Tatsu no Ashigoto. Exclaimed Temari with one more swing of her fan, pouring all her strength behind it, and launched the swing of her fan into the sky. Seconds later, after nothing happened, storm clouds began to form from above the two shinobi, and a massive tornado soon followed with form of Mother Nature violently crashing down onto Naruto. While this happened, many watched with bated breaths, and wondering if Namikaze could withstand an entire tornado being brought down upon his head. When it stopped, the dirt kicked up was preventing anyone from seeing if Naruto was alright, or he was taken down by the jutsu. Impressive. A delayed attack mixed with your temper makes the enemy think the jutsu failed, but in reality, it was time delayed and meant to destroy the unsuspecting foe hit with it, said Naruto, who was completely unharmed by the attack, and shocked Temari to no end. He just took a tornado and shrugged it off. How is that possible? Thought Temari with Naruto smirking. Care to try again? Or are you out of chakra? Asked Naruto with Temari eyeing him with extreme caution and glanced at his Zanpakuto. The memory of Neji being cut in half by it appeared in her mind. I give up. If you can withstand my most powerful of wind jutsus like that, it would be pointless to continue fighting, answered Temari with Naruto turning his sword back into his cane form. Winner is Namikaze Naruto. Declared Naruto with many of the clients and nobles now looking impressed by the act. Only the fire daimyo seemed displeased. He had been assured that the former Jinchuriki would be brought to heel, and so would his brought back from the dead parents. Unlike the fire daimyo's predecessor, this one did not believe any Jinchuriki were deserving of being labeled humans, and it was the same for any other variation of them. This included what Naruto had become what was called an Reincarnation, and had wished to quash any kind of rights the family may wish to claim on the family holdings. To the fire daimyo, all Jinchuriki were considered abominations, tools to be used in war, and only to be used as a last resort when the war escalated. Until then, a shinobi village could do whatever they wanted to the Jinchuriki, provided it wasn't betraying him, or usurping his rule over the entire country. The only reason Kushina or Uzumaki Mido weren't treated like that was due to the previous fire daimyos, and the family of both Jinchuriki being there for them, while keeping their status as Jinchuriki a secret. The current fire daimyo had no intention of being like them. He wasn't going to embrace Jinchuriki or this Reincarnation like his father and his father before him would have done in his place. No. He would soon order the boy and his parents be made into weapons of war, and be without any rights or freedoms normal humans possess. He would order the clan homes be liquidated or handed over to someone worthy. Like the Uchiha perhaps. Yes. The boy had been slighted by Tsunade and all for being a little late. Bah. Who cares if the boy was a little late? This was only a competition. Not a mission or assignment that was considered time is of the essence, and not being late was considered bad. Besides, the Uchiha clan were an important clan in Konoha, and it would be bad to wrong the last one loyal to Konoha. He would have to make a strong example out of Naruto, his parents, and of course the current female Hokage soon enough, while making the Uchiha have their possessions as reparations for the wrong they committed. And if they didn't go along with it, the Fire Daimyo would order their execution and have them be declared traitors of Fire Country. The next match is between Aburame Shino and Sabaku no Gari of Suna, declared Genma with Gari appearing immediately, while Shino didn't move from his spot. Why? The boy was thinking and thinking hard. Contrary to popular belief, the Nara clan was not the only clan to have and produce the smart tactical geniuses that helped Konoha survive 3 shinobi wars. The Aburame had helped contribute to the war effort in the same way, which was by treating the village like a hive, and the Hokage being the queen that ruled over them. As such, there had been several Aburame who had demonstrated their intellect rivaled the Nara clan on many occasions. Their only real weakness, or rather their inability to surpass the Nara clan in that field, was their inability to think logically or outside the box if you will. When a Nara clan member thinks up a strategy, he thinks of every possible outcome the enemy might pull when attacking from all angles, all directions, and every way possible. When an Aburame clan member thinks up a strategy, they think based on logic, and logic only in terms of how the enemy would act in a logical manner. The only problem with that, however, is most of the time, humans do more often than not think illogically, or think logically at times, when planning something out when in battle. The Aburame clan's ability to outmaneuver someone was limited by that extent, since they followed the logical path where people reacted in a logical manner. It was why the Uzumaki clan was always able to stump them years ago when discussing strategies. The Uzumaki clan were known for thinking up seals and thinking in a logical manner that surprisingly worked when the plan was put into effect. And now Aburame Shino was using his own tactical minsa to find out if he should go through with his match with Gar. Logically, he had not competed yet against any of the opponents fighting here today, so no one knew his skills outside of his clan and his teammates when they visited. Any information the others had on him was now outdated, since it had been a month since the second stage of the Chunin exams. But the issue here was not his own skills, but rather the skills of his opponent, who clearly had not qualms with killing anyone that stood in his way, and Shino was told beforehand by Naruto that Gari was a Jinchuriki. Like the Namikaze had been, only with a weaker Biju inside this one, but the problem with that had been the seal Gari had, which judging from the red-haired boy's eyes, had been very weak. Naruto had told Shino how the other boy's eyes were baggy from the lack of sleep, and clearly Gari's mentality was lacking just as much. Shino realized his insects would not be able to handle Gari at all. From the sand armor to the Biju's chakra oozing out of the boy's body through the pathetic seal holding it in place. Shino knew logically that the best thing to do now was to not confront Gari, as it would mean the end of his hive and ultimately his life. Not only that, but Naruto had informed him of the impending invasion by Suna, and it was further proven by Kankuro's sudden desire to forfeit. A fight was going to happen sooner or later, and logically, Shino would need all his strength for the real fight that had yet to come. Proctor, I forfeit. I know from first-hand experience my opponent is too strong for me, and I will not risk my hive on such a dangerous shinobi, said Shino with the crowd booing, but the Aburame didn't care about that. Why should he when they were being illogical? Aburame Shino forfeits. Winner is Sabaku no Gari from Suna, declared Genma with the crowd booing once more with the exception of some shinobi who knew the reason why. Well, at least I don't have to move, commented Naruto before glancing at Gari who was grinning a bloodthirsty grin. I'm going to enjoy this, commented Gari with Naruto smirking. I was thinking the exact same thing. Let's see how strong you really are, Gar. Let us see if your sand has the power to withstand my power to make things rot and die, replied Naruto with his battle axe appearing again, and it was clear the Namikaze was itching for a fight. Our son is going to mess him up, commented Minato with Kushina nodding from their position on either side of Tsunade. The only reason neither of them stayed their hand in doing anything to Jiraiya when he protested Sasuke's disqualification was A. Tsunade wasn't a pushover, B. If they sensed ill intentions when Jiraiya got close they would have stopped this on in. And C. The time was not right to show just how powerful they were until the real fighting started. Of course. He's an Uzumaki and my son. Dadabing. Exclaimed Kushina while having fire in her eyes, while Minato let out a sheepish chuckle. Ready? Fight, said Genma with Gar launching his sand at Naruto, who used Sunito to dodge it. Don't just dodge my attacks. Fight. Show me your real power. Show me why shinobi villages are whispering your name with fear, demanded Gari with his sand missing its target. Normally, I would not do this considering what it entails, but considering your request, your mental instability, and the events still to come, I will indulge you this one time and one time only, said Naruto before using Sanito to give himself a healthy distance above the entire stadium. He can fly? Asked Shikamaru while seeing Naruto hovering high in the air where the cloud were. That was so unfair. This could be either really good or really bad for Konoha, commented Anko, while she had heard the rumors about what Naruto looked like when he unsealed his true power, and the damage it could cause unless doing what she knew he was about to do at a safe distance. Behold Gar. Behold the face of death itself. Ra. Arrogante, said Naruto before just about everyone felt a large wave of power washing over them. A sense of dread was now filling their hearts and minds over this. While still looking up, everyone watched in horror at seeing Naruto's body being covered in a dark miasma-like energy, molding to his form, and it began to grow like a dark fire. Soon, skeletal hands appeared. The dark miasma energy turned into something of dark royal robe. A skull appeared with a crown on its head, and golden chains holding a gold object with an eye-like symbol along the neckline. Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto revealed himself as the true embodiment of death in all of its dark and cruel glory, with everyone burning the image of what they saw into their minds, to be preserved for all time. Slowly, Naruto descended from the sky, and his skull-like form staring at Gar's fear-filled face, despite the mixture of an insane smile creeping up into it. Mother is afraid of you. And yet, I know I must kill you. If I kill you, my existence will last forever. I must run now. I must fight. Yes, fight, exclaimed Garu with his fear and insanity mixing before lashing out with his sand at Naruto. The sand wrapped around Naruto like a whip and held onto Naruto for a time span of a few seconds before the sand dissolved into nothing. Garu was shocked that his sand just dissolved into nothing and tried again with even more sand, until he surrounded the Dark Death incarnate-based entity in as much sand as possible, only for the sand to decay around the figure of death. You see Gar, everything dies eventually. Plants, animals, people. Even elements like sand are not immune to the power of time. My power ages things drastically. Your sand is no different. Or did my little demonstration when we first met not sink into that thick head of yours at the time? Said Naruto with his form hovering slightly in front of Gar. Yeah, that's my son. Kick some ass, exclaimed Kushina happily while seeing her son showing off his power. Your power is great, Namikaze, but mine is greater, stated Gar before he launched more of his sand from his gourd at Naruto, who summoned Grand Kaide and cut the sand to pieces. You have no idea what real power is, Gar. I control the one true absolute in this world. Sooner or later, we will all die. Plants die. Animals die. People die. The only question is how they die, and with a select few having a choice in that matter. Many do not get that sacred privilege when the time comes, stated Naruto with Gar quickly going through hand signs and formed a ball of sand over his body. The time is now. I need to start the invasion, thought the Kazekage, as he quickly made a few hand signs and signaled Baki to do his job to make his forces outside of Konoha's walls to attack. Explosions throughout Konoha erupted, shaking the stadium in the process, and shocking many that something like this was happening. The only people in Konoha who were not caught off guard were those who knew the attack was coming and those who planned it. I already know what you plan to do behind that ball of sand, Gar. As such, I am waiting to see your bidju manifest itself before acting accordingly. Though if you do disappoint me when I see the final product, I will kill you right here on the spot, stated Naruto while staring down at the ball of sand below him. Tanuki Nari no Jutsu, said Gar from within the sand, before letting sleep take him, and the bidju sealed inside now getting full control. Alright, I'm coming out, exclaimed Shukaku excitedly before the ball of sand grew larger until it showed the one-tailed Shukaku in all its glory. So this is what a bidju looks like when let out. Not bad. Though considering you are the weakest of them all, I was still expecting something more. It's a shame really. In another lifetime, we could have been Gar, said Naruto with Shukaku growling at him. You punk. You may think you're hot shit, but I'm going to mess you up, exclaimed Shukaku angrily while the skull face of Naruto seemed to somehow form an evil grin. Bring it, was Naruto's response with the two glaring at each other. The fight was on. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoyed. If you want a next part of this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification, and also check out the other videos that I have created, and enjoy. See you in the next video. Peace.